Hey everybody, this is Pac-Man Jake back with another video. I realize that most of you, about 99.9% of you, are probably here for Packer videos. Well, you guys can go and skip right ahead to 5 minutes into the video to get what you really want, which is the preview of the Green Bay Packers versus the Philadelphia Eagles for tomorrow night's game at Lambeau. But I thought I would just come in here and talk a little bit about the Milwaukee Brewers, and I realized that I haven't really made a video on the Brewers in quite some time, because most of you are here for Packer videos, so I took those, put them on the back burner, and I thought I would wait for the right opportune time to make a video on my Milwaukee Brewers, and I think this is a good time to bring it up. The Milwaukee Brewers have this thing where they just when it's almost too late, they find a way to rally and just find their peak and just play some of the best baseball that they could possibly play. Right now, this team is on a 5-game winning streak, and it's remarkable. Like this whole team has just come together and just seems to be playing out of their minds. You know, it all starts with beating the Chicago Cubs, and they get together and just go on some fantastic games. You know, the pitching is getting better, and it's just crazy. And then, you know, when the winning streak officially starts, and then Christian Yelich unfortunately goes out with what looks like could have been a season-ending injury. He could very well return, but it doesn't matter. Without our MVP Yelich, this team still comes together, rallies, and still plays well. I thought when I first heard the news that Christian Yelich was going to be out for the rest of the season, I was not very pleased. I was like, oh no, there goes our chances of possibly squeaking into making one of the wild cards. But that didn't happen. This team it's just remarkable what this team has been able to do without Yelich, because let's put it this way, this team without Christian Yelich is not a very good team. But you know what? The Brewers have just said, you know what? We're going to prove to you that we are good. We're going to prove to you that this team can go to the playoffs and win without Christian Yelich. And that's what they have proven to me. And I am so proud of the Milwaukee Brewers for stepping up into the clutch and making this happen. The Milwaukee Brewers are going to the playoffs. They're going to the playoffs, and they have a really good lead on the Chicago Cubs, who have been they have been a bunch of choke artists. You know, they're on a 7-game losing streak, and right now they're 82-75 with a 7-game losing streak, and they got blown out by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are abysmal. Yeah, it's so funny. This seems to happen a lot, where the Milwaukee Brewers catch fire and the Chicago Cubs go into full-on choke mode. Oh, this is great. It's such a great time to be a Wisconsin sports fan. The Badgers are really good. The Milwaukee Brewers are going on this insane winning streak and rallying together and just being the best team they could possibly be. And while Chicago fans, your Bears are still pretty good, but your Cubs are a choking, abysmal mess. And you know, I don't really care what happens with all the other stupid Illinois teams like the freaking Red Sox. It's irrelevant. So this is just really, really awesome. I'm really happy to see this team come together and play well, and I can't wait to see what this team can do going into the playoffs. And they're probably most likely going to wind up playing the Washington Nationals, and that should be a good matchup. I think that this team is going to give the Washington Nationals a little bit of a run for their money. I'm not entirely sure if they are going to beat them. There's still a lot of things that need to be worked out, but when this team is hot, look out. That's going to be it for the Milwaukee Brewers, and now on to what you have been waiting for is the Packers-Eagles. This game here feels like it has the makings of a trap game. Shout out to my man King Howie who made a video on this. I put a comment under his video where I kind of I made a full agreement on this. That this does feel like it has the makings of a trap game, because I definitely think the Packers are going to take the Eagles seriously, but the Eagles are beaten and battered right now. They definitely have accumulated some injuries for the offense. Receivers Alshon Jeffrey and Deshaun Jackson were out, and their presence was pretty crucial to the Eagles' success, really. Their other receivers, their backups, Nelson Aguilar, Mac Hollins, they have not stepped up. They haven't really been able to help the Eagles much out. They have dropped passes left and right, and those have contributed to the losses of the Eagles recently at Atlanta and at home versus Detroit. I definitely think that also their secondary lost Ronald Darby, who was suspect to begin with. Their corners, I really feel like Aaron Rodgers can have their way with the secondary, and maybe this offense can get something going to start in Week 4, as we have gone up against much better defenses, much better pass defenses. So I think that has contributed to the offense's problems. Also, another thing is that the running game hasn't really been able to get going all that much. Whenever Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams have had to grind out tough yards against 3 relatively tough run defenses so far in the Chicago Bears and the Denver Broncos. Minnesota's run defense is no joke either, but Aaron Jones had a really, really nice game against Minnesota, and props to those guys for being able to have some success against 3 really good defenses. The passing game, like I said, it's been very up and down. Outside of the first drive, there hasn't been the first drive where it looks Pro Bowl level off. It looks like a Super Bowl caliber offense, and Aaron Rodgers is playing at a Pro Bowl level on the first drive. But after that, not much has been able to get going. I guess defensive coordinators are figuring out a way to adjust on the fly to this offense, and can just figure out a way to clamp down and figure out what they are doing. And this is something that maybe that Matt and Aaron have to get together and figure out how to adjust to their adjustments on defense, and figure out some ways to get our guys going, to get the running game going. Davante Adams is getting doubled most of the time. We need to get Marquez a whole lot more involved in this offense. Honestly, we can definitely use his size and speed to our advantage. Geronimo Allison hasn't really been able to get much going. He has caught a touchdown pass, but for the most part, he has been absolutely completely abysmal. He hasn't really been able to get open from the slot, and we just need to get some of our other receivers going, aside from not named Davante Adams, MVS. Hopefully Kumaro is gonna get some snaps, and a few others to mention. Let's get Darius Shepard involved a little bit more. I know he saw a few snaps against the Broncos, but he was kind of being used in more of like a blocking type role. But that we could definitely use our weapons to attack the Philadelphia Eagles' pretty relatively weak pass defense, as they are definitely ailing at corner right now with Ronald Darby being out, who wasn't playing well to begin with. It's also been very disappointing that I've expressed in the past that the tight ends aren't really being utilized very much. I don't know if that has a lot to do with just, let's just say, well, we just don't really quite have the tight end. I do think we might have something in Bobby Tonyan, and I know that he's got the youth, he's got the size, he's got the speed, he's got the catching ability. Mercedes Lewis is really generally our blocking tight end, but I think we can still use Mercedes to some capacity in getting some easy completions. And when Jimmy gets healthy, I would say that, we got to find a way to get him the ball. Right now, he is dealing with two separate injuries, a quad, and I'm not sure what the other one is. I can't think of it offhand, but I would just sit him for this game against the Eagles, and when we come back next Sunday, I think that Jimmy will be more closer to 100, and I really, really want to see Matt and Aaron try to do whatever it takes to get him the ball. As far as the defense goes, the defense does have a tall task at hand. Carson Wentz is still Carson Wentz. He still certainly has all kinds of potential. He definitely has Pro Bowl potential. Now, he has not really looked particularly great in these last couple games, but when the Eagles need to rally, they can rally. I think our secondary will do a pretty decent job against this Eagles offense. It's our run defense that I have definitely expressed concern, as we do have some pretty decent running backs to go up against in Jordan Howard and Miles Sanders. I look for those guys to possibly have a pretty decent game. I felt like that we definitely miss Mike Daniels in the middle of that defense. He was a force against the run, but also I think we also missed Montravius Adams too, who I think is really, he doesn't make a whole lot of buzz, he doesn't make a whole lot of noise, but I think he does his job in the trenches. He does the dirty work with Kenny Clark and Dean Lowry. I think we missed Montravius last game, and I think it showed. I think we also missed Raven Green too, who has been kind of an underrated piece to this defense in terms of run defense. Fortunately, we got AA in his spot, and I think he's been able to fill those shoes pretty well. With Will Redmond also going back and playing strong safety, I think he's been playing pretty well. He did have that one problem in zone coverage where Kevin King was on his man, but Will just didn't get there in time to make a play on the ball, and it just wound up going for a large gain. That's not on Kevin, that was on Will. When you play zone, your safety has to be there over the top, otherwise you're going to get picked apart. So I know I've gone on for this for quite a bit of time, so I think I'll let you guys go and enjoy the game tomorrow night, and go Pack Go.